If you are arriving in Barcelona by plane, you'll want to know how to get from the airport to the city. In today's video, we are going to explain all the ways to do it and tell you how much you'll have to pay for each form of transport. Hola, ¿qué tal? I am Tony Galvez from Road Trips Spain and Portugal, where we help you plan the perfect trip with practical information and insider tips. Getting out of Barcelona airport is not difficult, as you will see in this video. We are going to explain what the airport and its terminals look like. We'll show you the main means of transport that go from the airport to the center of Barcelona. We will compare the different means of transport to see which one is the most suitable. And finally, we'll give you some vital advice if you are going to use public transport at the airport. Barcelona's only airport is in the south of the city, in the town of El Prat de Llobregat, next to the sea. Its official name is Josep Tarradellas Barcelona El Prat, and it is also known simply as El Prat. Its IATA code is BCN. The airport has 3 runways around which 2 terminals are arranged. Terminal 1 is the most modern, and all flights from countries outside the European continent arrive here, as well as many European flights. Terminal 2 is the older building and has been converted into a kind of low-cost terminal, where airlines such as EasyJet, Norwegian and Ryanair operate. The only exception is Spanish low-cost carrier Vueling, which uses T1. Although they appear to be close, the walking distance between T1 and T2 is very long, and it is not possible to walk from one terminal to the other. To make the journey, there is a free shuttle bus from T1 to T2 and vice versa, which can be taken from the external part of each terminal. It runs at regular intervals, and we'll talk about it later. Remember, you cannot walk between T1 and T2. Barcelona's public transport offers very good connections with the airport. There is the metro, the airport train, the Aerobús, which is the airport express bus, conventional buses and taxis. The metro, train and conventional buses form part of what is known in Barcelona as integrated transport, which means that the same ticket can be used to pay for journeys on any of them, with some restrictions in the case of the metro. Neither the Aerobús nor the taxis are part of the integrated transport. To travel on the Aerobús, you need a ticket specifically for that transport. Let's first talk about the airport metro. There are 2 metro stations. Line L9 South, orange, the airport line, runs through both terminals. The first station on the line leaving the airport is at T1 and the second station is at T2. Let's see where you can travel with the airport metro. The first station on the line, as we have just seen, is at T1 and the second station is at T2. For those going to the center of Barcelona, the next 10 stations on the line are probably of no interest at all. The first interesting station is Torrassa, where you can make a connection with the Red Line 1. The second interesting station is Collblanc, where you can connect to the Blue Line 5. And at the final station, Zona Universitaria, you can connect to Line 3, Green. In the last 3 stations mentioned, there are lifts and escalators that allow you to make connections without having to climb stairs. Zona Universitaria is quite far from the center of Barcelona, so it is highly unlikely that your accommodation will be close by. Therefore, if you choose to take the metro from the airport, you will almost certainly have to connect with another line to get to your accommodation. The line you will have to connect with depends very much on the address of your accommodation. If you have any doubts, ask us and we will explain the best combination of lines in your specific case. The airport line has very modern driverless trains. From Sunday to Thursday, it runs from 5 a.m. to midnight. On Fridays and the eve of public holidays, the metro runs from 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. and on Saturday night to Sunday, the metro runs non-stop. If your flight arrives at Terminal 1, it's easy to get to the metro station. Once you have retrieved your luggage and come out into the public part of the airport, you will immediately see a series of signs in indicating the location of public transport. You will now see the path you need to take to get to the metro station. Walk straight ahead, always in a straight line. You will see metro logos confirming that you are approaching the station. You will go down an escalator and continue walking straight ahead. At the end of the hall you're about to reach, you will see the ticket machines on the right and the station entrance on the left. If your flight arrives in Terminal 2, when you exit to the public part of the airport, turn left and get ready to walk. You will be walking almost from one end of the terminal to the other. When you think you've finished the terminal, you'll see that there is still one more piece of terminal to walk. At the end of the walk, you will see an escalator with an arrow pointing to the underground, the metro symbol. Go up the escalator and follow the arrows pointing the way to the train station and the metro station. When you exit the escalator, you will cross a long and endless footbridge. A long time ago, in the last century, there were movable walkways to help you cross the footbridge, but they were removed quite a while ago. When you reach the end of the footbridge, you will have to go down either by lift to the right or by escalator. You will soon reach the entrance to the train station. The metro station is a little farther on, just keep walking. In the station you will see a small tourist office and ticket machines. To get out of either airport terminal by metro, you will spend €5.15. Now let's see how to buy that ticket. The two metro stations at the airport, at T1 and T2, have many automatic ticket vending machines. The machines are identical in the two stations. We are going to see how to buy this ticket, but first we wanted to make an important clarification. The way of paying for public transport in Barcelona is changing. With the arrival of T-Mobilitat, Barcelona will cease to be one of the last major cities in Spain where people still pay for transport with a paper ticket. But the T-Mobilitat is slowly being rolled out, and for now, for the time being, you'll still be buying a paper ticket. Don't worry, we are aware of the changes, and when the way of buying ticket changes, we will inform you promptly. Find a ticket machine and tap on the screen. If you want, choose a different language from the initial one, which is usually Catalan. Select English. You will see all the tickets you can buy at the terminal. We are going to buy a ticket to leave the airport, but we could also buy a T-Usual, which we are going to talk about in a moment, or a Dia ticket, valid for 24 hours. Touch the image airport ticket. As there are two of us, let's change the number of tickets we want to buy. Tap on Confirm to see the total amount you will have to pay. Enter the payment in coins, cards or banknotes. Once the purchase is complete, the ticket and the change, if any is due, will appear at the bottom of the machine. With a single ticket you can change metro lines as often as you like, as long as you don't leave the stations. If you exit a station onto the street and re-enter, you will have to pay again. Let's see how the ticket is validated. To enter the metro station, you will have to insert the ticket in the direction indicated on the ticket itself, into a slot in the barriers at the entrance to the metro. The machine will swallow the ticket and eject it throughout another slot later on. Take the ticket, wait for the doors to open and enter the station. Remember that the ticket most used by tourists in Barcelona, the T-Casual, does not allow you to travel on the airport metro, so you cannot buy it from the metro machines. If you have bought a Hola Barcelona card, it is valid on the airport metro and you can use it without paying anything for it. Simply insert the card into the slot to enter the station and remove it. In the video we made about the Hola Barcelona, we tell you all the details about the pass. We interrupt this program to leave a hot tip for those who will be traveling to Barcelona in 2023 and only in 2023. During this year, the authorities are subsidizing part of the price of some tickets, and of these, the one with the most interesting price is the T-Usual. Normally it costs €40, but in 2023 it will be available for €20. It allows unlimited travel in Barcelona for a month on all the city's integrated transport, including the airport metro. You may not be in Barcelona for a month, but it is a very good price even if you are only in Barcelona for a few days. When you buy the T-Usual, you will have to put the number of an official document. If you don't have a Spanish ID, put the number of your passport. The number will be printed on the ticket and you should always carry the document with you in case a ticket inspector asks you for it. This is a measure designed to prevent fraudulent use of the card. Let's talk about the airport train. Barcelona Airport has only one train station in Terminal 2, next to the T2 metro station. There is a project to bring the train to T1 and work is well underway, but there is currently no indication as to when it will be completed. Barcelona Airport is served by the R2 North line of the Barcelona suburban trains. The route of the line leaving the airport is as follows: Airport T2, El Prat de Llobregat, Bellvitge, Barcelona Sants, Barcelona Passeig de Gràcia, Barcelona El Clot Aragó, and continues the route outside Barcelona. The two most important stations for tourists coming to the city are Barcelona Sants and Barcelona Passeig de Gràcia, for two reasons: because they connect with the metro and because in the case of many hotels they will allow you to walk to your accommodation. The airport train line runs from 5:30 in the morning until 11:30 at night, 7 days a week. Trains depart every 30 minutes. The approximate travel time between the airport and Sants station is 20 minutes. Let's see how to get to the train station. If your flight arrives at T1, you will have to go to T2 to get on the train. When you come out into the public part of the airport, walk forward and a little later turn right, following the path you are now seeing in the pictures. You will go down two moving walkways and appear at the Aerobus stop. In front of the Aerobus on the right is the free shuttle bus stop that connects the two terminals. Get on the bus and when it arrives at T2, get off. Enter the terminal and you will immediately see the escalator we saw earlier that shows the way to the metro station and the train. Let's have a look again on how it's done. Go up the escalator, follow the arrows that show the way to the train station. Enter a long corridor, cross the footbridge to the end, go down the escalator, and in a few moments on your right the entrance to the train station will appear. If your flight arrives at T2, you will take exactly the same path as shown earlier when we explained how to get to the T2 metro station. When you enter the train station, you will see automatic ticket machines on your right and in front of you a ticket office with an employee. There are also machines on the left, but they work a little differently. To leave the airport by train, paying for the trip with a T-Casual ticket, you will spend €1.13. Let's see how to buy such a ticket. We'll use the machines to the right of the station entrance. You could buy a single ticket, but that would be a monumental mistake because although you don't need to understand what this means, the single train ticket is not an integrated ticket and it's very expensive at €4.60 to the center of Barcelona. What we recommend is that you buy a T-Casual ticket. This is an individual ticket, each traveler must have one, which allows you to make 10 journeys on Barcelona's public transport, including train, bus, metro, except for the airport, tram and funiculars. As the T-Casual is an integrated ticket, it allows you to change means of transport within 75 minutes. For example, you can leave the airport, get off at Sants station and take the metro to your hotel. To complete this journey, you will spend only one of the 10 tickets included in the T-Casual. Let's see how to buy it. The machine only allows you to buy one T-Casual at a time, so repeat the process as many times as necessary. On the first screen you will see the options of tickets you could buy. Search for and tap on T-Casual. A message warns you that the T-Casual is not valid for travel on the airport metro. As we are leaving by train, this is not a problem. Tap on Yes. Select Zone 1, which is the transport zone in which the T-Casual will be valid. Zone 1 includes Barcelona Airport and the whole city. And now all that's left to do is to pay with coins, cards or tickets. Your ticket and change, if any is due, will appear at the bottom of the machine. A screen in the station informs you of the departure times of the next trains. All trains departing from the airport go to Barcelona, so you can't go wrong. To validate your journey, insert your ticket at the barrier at the entrance and at the barrier of your destination train station. If you want to take advantage of the Combinado Cercanías, a Renfe Anirio benefit for those who are going to take a high-speed train in the next 4 hours, look for an entrance barrier with a QR code reader and bring the QR code on your ticket as shown in the image below. The barrier will open and you will travel for free. Wait for the next train to arrive and get on calmly. The train usually leaves the airport with many seats empty. Several screens in the carriages inform you of the arrival of the next stations. Aerobus is the name of the official bus that links Barcelona airport with the city center. It is a bus for travelers arriving in Barcelona with space for luggage and free Wi-Fi. It goes from the airport to Plaza de España and Plaza de Catalunya, where its final stop is. The buses are blue and are clearly marked with the letters Aerobus on the sides. The Aerobus has two routes. Route A1 goes from T1 to the city center and the A2 route goes from T2 to the city center. Neither the A1 route passes through T2 nor the A2 route passes through T1. If you are arriving in Barcelona, get on the Aerobus at your terminal. The endpoint of the two routes in the center of Barcelona is the same, but if you're returning from the city to the airport, make sure you choose the route that takes you to your terminal. It is clearly marked on the front of the buses. After leaving the airport, the Aerobus stops are the same on both routes 1 and 2. The first is at Plaza España, good for those staying in the region. Then there are two stops on Gran Via, one on the corner with Comte Borrell and the other at the Universitat. And the final stop is in the heart of Barcelona at Plaza de Catalunya. Next to the final stop, there is a taxi rank in case you want to get off the Aerobus and get into a taxi. The journey between the airport and Plaza de Catalunya under normal traffic conditions should take no more than 35 minutes. If you arrive at T1, the path you will take to the Aerobus stop is the same as the one we took earlier to get to the shuttle that goes from T1 to T2 and that you are now seeing on the screen. The Aerobus stop is just off the second moving walkway. If your flight arrives at T2, when you exit to the public part of the airport, turn left, walk for a while, turn right to exit the terminal, and turn left to get to the Aerobus stop, as you can see now on the screen. You can buy Aerobus tickets online before you travel, with money from an attendant, usually at the initial stop, with a credit card from the vending machines. To leave the airport by Aerobus, you will spend €5.90. Children under 4 years old are free of charge. Local bus line 46 connects Barcelona Airport with Plaza de España. At Plaza de España, you can connect with the metro or other bus lines. It should be emphasized that this is a conventional bus with no specific space for luggage transport and that depending on the time of the day, it can be very crowded as it is used by many people who work at the airport. Travelers with luggage usually place their suitcases in the space reserved for the disabled. The journey time to Plaza de España is much lower than the Aerobus, as the 46 bus makes 23 stops on its route, compared to none on the Aerobus before Plaza de España. The 46 bus is an economical option for those traveling with little luggage and can be very good for those staying along the line or in the Plaza de España region. Bus 46 runs from Monday to Sunday from 4:50 a.m. to 11:50 p.m. If you have a contactless payment card, you can pay for your journey when you get on the bus by holding your card up to a reader. The driver does not sell tickets, but that ticket bought on the bus is €2.40 and does not allow you to change mode of transport. We understand that if you are going to use the 46, it is because you want to save money. So we recommend that you pay for your journey with a T-Casual card. If you don't have a T-Casual yet, you can buy one at the Estanco, the tobacconist in T1, or at the train station in T2, as we explained in this section on leaving the airport by train. In the metro stations at the airport, the machines do not sell the T-Casual. It is very easy to get to the tobacconist, the Estanco in T1. When you come out into the public part of the airport, walk forward as shown in the pictures. Follow the sign showing the direction to the Estanco. You will exit to the outside of the airport through a revolving door and you will find the Estanco immediately on the right. The Estanco is open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday to Sunday. Let's see how to get to the stop on line 46. If you arrive at T1, when you come out into the public part of the airport, walk in a straight line, as you will see now on the screen, and turn left at the place we are showing you now. You will go down two moving walkways. At the end of the last one, you will see the Aerobus just ahead. Turn 180 degrees to continue walking until you reach the 46th stop. If your flight arrives at T2 when you exit to the public part of the airport, you will have to walk almost all that endless walk we did to get to the metro and train. Only when you are in front of the escalator, you'll turn right and exit the terminal. The shuttle bus connecting the terminals will be just ahead. Turn right and walk. The first line 46 stop you will come to is for those traveling in the direction of T1. Keep walking until you reach the second stop of the 46 direction Barcelona. How do you validate your trip with a T-Casual? Put the card in the machines at the front of the bus in the direction shown on the ticket and wait until the machine ejects it. To leave the airport on bus 46, if you pay with a T-Casual, you will spend €1.13 with the right to connections to other means of transport within 75 minutes. Taxis are one of the transport options for leaving Barcelona airport. Barcelona taxis are easy to identify with their black paintwork and yellow doors. There is no special airport taxi service. The city taxis are the same as the ones that pick up passengers at the airport. The journey from the airport to the city can take half an hour depending a lot on traffic and the direction you are heading in Barcelona. Leaving from T1, the journey is 4 kilometers longer than from T2, so the journey from the first terminal is slightly more expensive. A taxi ride from the airport to the city center can cost between 25 and 45 euros, depending very much on the location of the destination. All taxis must display a sign with up-to-date fares in their windows. Unlike at Madrid airport, there is no fixed fare in Barcelona. You pay what the taximeter shows. The passenger has to pay what the taximeter shows plus supplements, which may include a supplement of €4.50 for leaving the airport and another €4.50 for large taxis when occupied by more than 4 passengers. Please note that the transport of luggage is included in the taxi fare and no extra charge can be made for it. If in doubt, always ask for a receipt. Barcelona's taxi fleet has large vehicles that can carry up to 8 passengers. Let's see how to get to the taxi ranks at the airport. If you arrive at T1, when you come out into the open part of the airport, you will see the access to the taxi rank immediately on the right. Enter through the door, as we are showing you in the pictures, and go down a ramp that will take you to the taxi rank. If you arrive at T2, it's even easier. When you come out into the open part of the airport, walk straight ahead, exit the terminal and turn right to find the taxi rank right there. So here's a quick summary. If you arrive at T1, you can travel to the center of Barcelona by metro on the airport line. You can travel by Aerobús on line A1. You can use line 46 of the conventional buses. You can leave by taxi. You can leave by train, but you will have to take the shuttle to T2 where the station is. And you could also take a long distance bus. If you arrive at T2, you can use the airport metro line. You can also use the airport train line. You can get on the Aerobús line A2 or the conventional bus line 46. You could take a taxi, or you could also take the shuttle to T1 or a long distance bus from the stop at T2. And now, yes, let's compare the different alternatives. The metro has stations at T1 and T2. It runs from the beginning of the day until midnight with extended hours on Fridays and continuous service from Saturday to Sunday. It takes you to any part of Barcelona. The ticket costs €5.15 with a ride to connections for 75 minutes. With a Hola Barcelona card, the metro is free. The metro is a good option for getting to any part of Barcelona not served by other transport. We do not recommend it for those traveling with a lot of luggage. Also, it is not the cheapest transport and it takes a long time. The train has a station at T2. It runs from the beginning of the day until almost midnight. It provides direct access to the Sants region and the upper part of the Paseo de Gracia region. If you pay for the journey with a T-Casual ticket, you will spend €1.13 with a ride to connections within 75 minutes. The train is the cheapest form of transport and allows you to get to any address directly or with connections. We do not recommend it for those traveling with a lot of luggage. The Aerobús stops at T1 and T2. It operates 24 hours a day. It serves the area around Plaza de España, Gran Via and Plaza de Catalunya, including the upper part of Las Ramblas. The ticket costs $5.90 one way and $10.20 return. The Aerobus is suitable for those staying along the line or for those who want early morning transport to the airport. It is expensive and we do not recommend it for those who travel during the day and are not staying along the line, as the ticket does not include connections to other transport. Bus line 46 stops at T1 and T2. It runs from 5 AM until almost midnight. It is used to get to the Plaza de España area. If you pay for the trip with a T-Casual ticket, you will spend $113 with a ride to connections within 75 minutes. It's a good option for those traveling light and staying in the Plaza de España region. It is slow and not recommended for those not staying along the line. The train is a better option for those who want to make connections to another destination. Taxis have ranks at T1 and T2. They operate 24 hours a day. They take you to any address in Barcelona. The trip can cost between 25 and 45 euros depending on the destination. It's good for those who travel with a lot of luggage or in a group and are looking for the fastest and most comfortable transport. It is the most expensive option. There is no fixed fare. Let's go through some answers to frequently asked questions before our final big tip. What if you don't want to go to Barcelona but to other destinations? There are several bus routes to other parts of Catalonia and even to Andorra. During the video we mentioned the location of the boarding points of the long distance buses, both at T1 and T2. If you want to know more details, just ask us. And if you want to get to the cruise terminal, in video 89, which we recorded explaining how to get to the cruise terminal in Barcelona, we talk about transfer from the airport to the port. Don't miss it. Do companies such as Uber, Cabify and Bolt operate at Barcelona Airport? They do, but their lives are hanging by a thread. The legislation that came into force at the beginning of 2023 restricts their activities as much as possible. Despite this, many vehicles of the aforementioned companies continue to offer their services outside the law. This will lead to considerable conflict in the short term. In fact, just yesterday the police intervened several cars with tourists going to the airport, and those tourists had to jump off the cars and somehow manage to get a taxi to complete the journey. So we do not want to recommend any company without knowing what their future will be in Barcelona. If you are familiar with any of them, open your app at the airport to see if you can hire a vehicle, but be careful. It is a service surrounded by conflict and uncertainty. And our big final advice, please take it very seriously. On all the above mentioned means of transport, including the shuttle between terminals, take extreme care with your personal belongings. Barcelona is a very touristy city and pickpockets are very attentive to take advantage of the slightless carelessness of those who visit the city. On the journey from the airport to your accommodation, you are in a particularly vulnerable situation. You may not know the city and you will probably be traveling with luggage, so you will have to be extra careful. The basic advice is carry your passport, money and mobile phone in an internal pocket that it's difficult or impossible to access. And if you think you won't have enough hands to take care of each of the pieces of luggage you are carrying and an extra hand to hold on to the railing during transport, choose a less risky form of transport, such as a taxi, even if it's more expensive. Barcelona is a wonderful city. Don't let theft spoil your trip. And that brings us to the end of the video. We have mentioned the transport prices now at the beginning of 2023, and in the description of the video and the first commentary, we will update those prices whenever changes occur. As always, if you have any questions, please use the comment box to ask, especially if you would like to know how to get to your hotel. But if you ask us what is the best way to get to such and such hotel, we would appreciate it if you could clarify what best means to you. The best way for us is almost always by taxi, but as it is the most expensive, we almost never use it. Knowing what best means for you, we will be able to help you better. You will now see on the screen a video that will help you a lot to prepare your trip to Barcelona with tips to help you make the most of your time. We'll see you in that video.